Okay, you are on the History Guys channel. Let's talk about the history of Cyrus the Great. One thing that you need to understand is that you cannot talk about the history of Cyrus the Great without telling something about the Persian Empire. Therefore, know that the history of Cyrus the Great and the rise of the Persian Empire is a fascinating tale of conquest and leadership intertwined with the Persian Empire. It begins with the Persians, an ancient Indo-European people who originally hailed from the region of modern-day Iran. The Persians were one of many tribes in the vast Persian plateau, and they gradually emerged as a dominant force in the region. Cyrus entered the world as the son of Cambyses I, who held the title of King of Anshan, and Mandane, the daughter of Astyages, the king of Media. This event took place around 600 to 599 BC. According to historical accounts, which are widely accepted today, Cyrus's lineage included his father Cambyses I, his grandfather Cyrus I, and his great-grandfather Teispes, who had all ruled before him. In due course, Cyrus entered into matrimony with Cassandane, an Achaemenian lady and the daughter of Pharnaspes. Their union resulted in the birth of two sons, Cambyses II and Bardia, as well as three daughters named Atossa, Artistone, and Roxane. Cyrus and Cassandane shared a deep and affectionate bond. It was said that Cassandane found parting from Cyrus even more heart-wrenching than departing from life itself. Tragically, after Cassandane's passing, Cyrus ordered a period of public mourning to be observed throughout the kingdom. The Nabonidus Chronicle even records that Babylonia mourned the loss of Cassandane for 6 days, specifically from March 21st to March 26th in the year 538 BC. Upon the death of his father, Cyrus ascended to the Persian throne, located in Pasargadae. At this time, Pasargadae was under the suzerainty of Astyages. Interestingly, the Greek historian Strabo mentioned that Cyrus originally bore the name Agradates, likely given to him by his step-parents. When he later reunited with his biological family, Cyrus may have undergone a name change to Cyrus, as per naming customs. It's also worth noting another account by Strabo, which suggests that Agradates chose the name Cyrus due to its association with the Cyrus River near Pasargadae. Cyrus's victory over King Astyages of the Medes stands as a pivotal and defining moment in his career, marking the birth of the Persian Empire and solidifying his reputation as a remarkable leader. This victory was not only a military conquest, but also a testament to his extraordinary leadership qualities and tactical brilliance. At the time, the Medes were a dominant force in the region, and their rule extended over a vast territory. King Astyages, who was also Cyrus's grandfather, held a position of significant power and authority. For Cyrus, defeating such a formidable adversary was no small feat. Cyrus's leadership qualities played a crucial role in his success. He was known for his strategic thinking, decisiveness, and the ability to inspire loyalty among his troops. These traits were instrumental in rallying his forces and maintaining their morale during the campaign against the Medes. Tactically, Cyrus demonstrated his brilliance by leveraging alliances and exploiting weaknesses within the Median leadership. He secured the support of disaffected Median nobles who were dissatisfied with Astyages' rule. This shrewd diplomatic move bolstered Cyrus's army and weakened the Medes internally, ultimately contributing to his victory. The aftermath of Cyrus's triumph was the establishment of the Persian Empire, marking a significant shift in regional power dynamics. His ability to unite the Persians and Medes under his rule showcased not only his military prowess, but also his statesmanship. Cyrus demonstrated a willingness to incorporate the strengths of the Medes into the new empire, which helped to solidify his rule and promote stability in the region. Overall, Cyrus's victory over King Astyages of the Medes was a turning point in history. It showcased his exceptional leadership, strategic thinking, and the beginnings of a new era with the emergence of the Persian Empire as a major force in the ancient world. His rule would go on to shape the empire's character and legacy, marked by his enlightened governance and commitment to religious tolerance. Cyrus's conquest of Babylon stands as one of the most remarkable episodes in his illustrious career, marked by both ingenious military strategy and a humanitarian approach to governance. The capture of Babylon in 539 BCE was indeed a significant achievement, and it was characterized by a brilliant tactical maneuver. Cyrus and his forces recognized the strategic advantage of the Euphrates River, which ran through the heart of Babylon, providing the city with its water supply. To overcome this obstacle, they devised a plan to divert the river temporarily. The Persians dug a network of canals and trenches that rerouted the waters of the Euphrates away from its main channel, causing the river's level within the city walls to drop significantly. This allowed Cyrus's troops to enter Babylon through the dried riverbed that had been rendered navigable. What made this strategy particularly brilliant was the element of surprise and the absence of significant bloodshed. Instead of a protracted siege or a violent assault, the city essentially fell to Cyrus without a major battle. This approach minimized the suffering of the city's inhabitants and likely contributed to Cyrus's reputation as a conqueror who sought to avoid unnecessary harm. Cyrus's policy of religious tolerance, exemplified by his treatment of the Jewish exiles in Babylon, further enhanced his reputation as a benevolent conqueror. He issued a decree that allowed the Jewish exiles to return to their homeland and rebuild their temple in Jerusalem. This act of generosity and respect for religious freedom not only endeared Cyrus to the Jewish people, but also demonstrated his commitment to governing with fairness and compassion. Cyrus the Great's conquest of Babylon and his policies of religious tolerance indeed marked a departure from the harsher practices of many conquerors of his time. Some of the conquerors and empires that preceded Cyrus, and whose practices were often more punitive and less tolerant, include Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians, known for their military might, were often brutal in their conquests. They practiced mass deportations of conquered peoples, imposed heavy tribute, and engaged in widespread destruction of conquered cities. Their rule was marked by terror and cruelty. Neo-Babylonian Empire, under Nebuchadnezzar II. Prior to Cyrus, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, under rulers like Nebuchadnezzar II, engaged in conquests that were sometimes accompanied by the destruction of conquered cities and the displacement of populations. The famous biblical account of the Babylonian exile of the Jewish people illustrates this. Persian Achaemenid Empire, before Cyrus. Interestingly, even before Cyrus, the Persian Achaemenid Empire under earlier rulers did not always practice religious tolerance to the same extent. Some Persian rulers imposed their religion and cultural practices on conquered peoples, leading to unrest and resistance. Empires of ancient Mesopotamia. In general, many empires in ancient Mesopotamia practiced a form of imperial control that included subjugation, taxation, and the imposition of the dominant culture and religion upon conquered territories. Cyrus's approach was remarkable because he sought to unify his diverse empire through policies of inclusion and religious tolerance. Instead of imposing his own beliefs and culture on conquered peoples, he allowed them to practice their own religions and maintain their customs. This approach not only facilitated governance, but also contributed to the longevity and stability of the Persian Empire. In the context of the ancient world, such a policy was indeed a departure from the harsher practices of many conquerors of that era. Cyrus the Great's approach to governance was a departure from the norm in the ancient world. His unique system of governance played a pivotal role in the stability and longevity of the Persian Empire and left a lasting legacy of inclusivity and tolerance. One of the key features of Cyrus's governance was his willingness to grant conquered peoples a significant degree of autonomy. Instead of imposing Persian customs, culture, and religion upon the regions he conquered, Cyrus allowed these territories to retain their distinct identities and traditions. This approach was particularly striking at a time when many conquerors sought to assimilate conquered populations forcefully. Cyrus also recognized the importance of religious freedom. He ensured that his subjects were free to practice their own religions without fear of persecution or coercion. This policy of religious tolerance was a stark contrast to the religious oppression that was prevalent in many ancient empires. Notably, his decree allowing the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple is a celebrated example of his commitment to religious freedom. By granting autonomy and religious freedom, Cyrus encouraged loyalty among his subjects. People who felt respected and valued by their rulers were more likely to remain loyal to the Persian crown. This contributed to the stability of the empire as diverse cultures and peoples coexisted harmoniously under Persian rule. Moreover, Cyrus's approach had broader implications for the integration of diverse cultures into the empire. It fostered a sense of unity among the various ethnic and religious groups within the Persian Empire, contributing to social cohesion. This cultural diversity also enriched the empire by allowing the exchange of ideas, technologies, and customs among different regions. Cyrus the Great's rule indeed left an indelible mark on the subsequent history of the Persian Empire and significantly influenced later rulers, particularly those of the Achaemenid dynasty. His enlightened approach to governance set a precedent that shaped the empire's trajectory for generations to come. Cyrus's legacy extended far beyond his lifetime. His reign was characterized by tolerance and respect for local customs, a stark contrast to the authoritarian and assimilationist policies of many ancient empires. This approach not only fostered a sense of unity among diverse populations within the empire, but also promoted social stability and economic prosperity. One of the most notable examples of Cyrus's legacy can be seen in the reign of Darius I, who succeeded Cyrus as the ruler of the Persian Empire. Darius is often regarded as one of the greatest Achaemenid kings, and he continued and expanded upon Cyrus's policies of inclusion and governance. Darius divided the empire into provinces, each governed by a satrap, a provincial governor, who had significant autonomy to manage local affairs. This decentralization of power allowed for efficient administration and accommodated the various customs and traditions of the empire's subjects. Furthermore, Darius extended religious tolerance and promoted the construction of infrastructure projects such as the Royal Road and the construction of grand palaces like Persepolis. His administration was marked by a commitment to law and order, and he codified the legal system to ensure fairness and justice for all subjects. Darius's successor, Xerxes I, also continued the legacy of Cyrus and Darius. While he faced challenges, including the famous Persian Wars with Greece, Xerxes maintained the empire's stability through administrative reforms and the continuation of religious tolerance. Despite the setbacks in his military campaigns, Xerxes' rule saw advancements in Persian art, culture, and architecture, reflecting the empire's continued prosperity. In essence, Cyrus the Great's influence on subsequent rulers of the Persian Empire was profound. His emphasis on inclusion, religious tolerance, and respect for local customs became ingrained in the Achaemenid dynasty's governing principles. These policies not only contributed to the empire's longevity but also created an enduring image of Persian leadership characterized by fairness, benevolence, and enlightened governance. Beyond the Achaemenid dynasty, Cyrus's legacy continued to influence later Persian rulers, including those of the Parthian and Sasanian empires, who adopted similar administrative practices and values. In this way, Cyrus the Great's impact reverberated throughout Persian history and left an enduring legacy of enlightened rule. Cyrus the Great's death in 530 BCE marked the end of an era of exceptional leadership, and the circumstances surrounding his demise are of historical interest. The exact details of his death remain somewhat shrouded in mystery, with several accounts and theories proposed over the centuries. One widely accepted account suggests that Cyrus died in battle during a campaign against the Massagetae, a nomadic warrior tribe located in the eastern part of his empire. According to the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, the Massagetae were led by Queen Tomyris, who defeated and killed Cyrus in a fierce battle. Tomyris was said to have been seeking vengeance for her son's death, whom Cyrus had captured and executed. Another account, recorded by the ancient Babylonian historian Berossus, suggests that Cyrus died in Babylon, either in battle or due to illness. However, these accounts lack the detail and consensus that would provide a definitive answer regarding the circumstances of his death. Despite the uncertainty surrounding his passing, Cyrus's legacy endured through the Persian Empire, thanks in part to the policies he had implemented during his rule.